Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Here's Alday.
What is going on with eras and episodes? Welcome back, Highlanders. Welcome to What is going on. Today, we're going to break down eras and episodes. So we're going to take one topic and we're going to break it down for 3 different levels of the game. Players that have just started playing, people in that middle zone, and people that have been playing the game since launch. So we're going to break it down. I'm going to explain what I think eras and episodes really mean. I'm going to give advice to people at those levels, and we might just learn something, but let me just talk about it. So eras and episodes was a huge update that CG announced. Now, it's safe to say it was probably more of an announcement for them than for us. You know, they were sort of, oh, we're doing this grand structured plan, and we were like, yeah, who's the next character? So anyway, eras. Let's start with eras. So they're now going to break the year into essentially 48 weeks. So we're going to kind of have 48 weeks, I would thought, and then 4 weeks off at Christmas. I can imagine something around that line. So an era is 12 weeks long, and it's going to be along a theme. Then inside an era, we have 3 episodes that are 4 weeks long, and inside each episode, you have 2 weeks that are a marquee. So essentially, we end up with 6 marquees coming every era. A way to think of it. Now, this is not the first time CG has done this. Now, people that have been playing the game for a long time will remember that GAC used to be 4 weeks of battles and then 1 week off. It used to run in a 5-week cycle. And that used to cause a lot of problems because you used to frequently get to the point where GAC would be on at the same time as a TB, at the same time as other things in the game that were running in a 4-week cadence or 4-week monthly cadence. So this is kind of them, maybe their final step in solidifying their entire 4-week or 48-week yearly plan. So they're bringing in structure. Now, I said that we'd get probably about 6 marquees there for an era, and that's 24 marquees a year. Now, last year in 2024, we got, or this year in 2024, I should say, we got 19 marquees. So we're actually going to get 5 more marquees than we got last year. And we're essentially going to get 4 conquest characters as well. So we're looking at least 28 new characters or ships coming to the game in 2025 through this process alone. I will talk that very often this process will lead to a galactic legend. It may lead to 1 or 2 legendaries as well, but we'll talk about those separately. Anyway, should we talk about the Inner Rim? My Inner Rim initiates, people that have just started playing the game. How do I look at this? So this is a strange one. So I would say just be very, very careful, and in many ways don't spend on the game. Now, I know that seems a little bit strange because they're really kind of pumping new Lightspeed bundles at you at the moment. Now, remember that Lightspeed bundles have a dark side to them. Like everything in Star Wars, it's got a dark side. So you get the characters, but you don't get the mods. You also don't always get the Zetas and the Omicrons. Or you might get the Zetas and the Omicrons now on those characters because they're taking them to a certain level. But then, when you unlock whatever they're leading for, be it a GL, you don't get the Zetas and the Omicrons on that person, or Zeta in particular. So be careful not to buy too many of these Lightspeed bundles. The thing that they've kind of not done in 2024 is they've not improved the game. They've not worked on their matchmaking system. They've not worked on TW. They've not worked on making things like TB less time conducive. So why are you rushing? Why rush to the end of a game? When you're going to get there, you're going to be at mod deficient from what you really need on the mods. You're going to be Zeta deficient, you're going to be Omicron deficient. So I would say to my Inner Rim initiates, be careful not to spend too much in this game, or don't look at every Lightspeed bundle and think, well, I want that. By all means, people that played this game will tell you these are incredible value, or you should definitely buy them because it's amazing. but I would be careful. I might buy yourself one every 3 months, but I'd certainly not buy you more than that, because you're going to run out of mods, you're going to run out of even money early in the game to actually upgrade characters. Apart from that, I think you're just going to see the entire game go into more of a regular routine. So I don't think there's going to be too much change for my inner rim initiates. Let's talk to my mid-rim masters. So, okay, you've been playing the game for a while, you know the kind of cadence on it, you could probably get 1 or 2 GLs, you're probably in that 5 to 8 million GP range. I would say to you, pivot early on this. Now, what do I mean by that? So, now that they've gone into a very set launch pattern, we're going to be able to predict much faster when things will drop in the game. We're going to be able to predict the next raid much better. We're going to be able to predict what characters are coming next, and therefore it's going to allow you, maybe not on the, occasionally there'll be videos that will claim to know something or will predict something. I wouldn't pivot on those, but once you start seeing official announcements of what the next raid is, or what the next character is, or what the next theme might be for an era, I might be tempted to pivot early. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of advice here. Now what does that mean? So we already know the first era is going to be on the Bad Batch, the new Bad Batch. So it is likely we're going to get an influx of Bad Batch feats. We're going to get Bad Batch feats coming inside Conquest, I'm sure. We're going to get Bad Batch feats coming inside the Galactic Challenges. And I can imagine all of these new characters, because I can imagine we're going to get at least 4 new marquees that are Bad Batch characters. Every one of these are likely to get the existing Bad Batch tag. Now, there's going to be a little bit of mix and match there. So I would say to you, look out for a Bad Batch Lightspeed bundle. We very much haven't had one. It's one of the ones that you would have thought they might have given us. Now, anyone that doesn't remember, the Bad Batch are incredibly high uses of Kairos. So it would be an extremely valuable Lightspeed bundle to get. It's going to be extremely timely. So even though I said to my inner rim initiates, be careful of Lightspeed bundles, I would say to my mid-rim masters, if you see a Bad Batch one, I'd be tempted to pick it up. If I had my Bad Batch in a sort of a semi-farmed, or I've done the Cairo investments, but I haven't done the relics on them yet, I might start kind of bringing them up, because I think you might find those characters being used in future content and certainly being focused on over the next era. It's going to run for 12 weeks. So we're going to see quite a bit of Bad Batch content over the next 3 months. Let's talk about Outer Rim Legends then. You guys have been playing it for ages. You guys know what you're doing. I would say to you, if FOMO is dead. Now let me explain. So one of the high drivers to spend money in this game is fear of missing out. It is a FOMO. It is a fear that there might be something incredible that might happen next week. Or there might be a legendary that will drop. And if I don't buy this today, I am not going to get that legendary. Now, by bringing in this very structured system, there's going to be no more surprises. It's extremely unlikely we're going to have a surprise puzzle on a Saturday and then this magical legendary that nobody ever expected drop on the Monday. We're going to get a very high structure into this game. And by FOMO, therefore, you can spend at a very controlled pace. You even don't need to spend. Certainly, we're going to be able to predict legendaries. We're going to be able to predict GLs far better, because they're basically going to announce to us that for 12 weeks you're getting new Bad Batch characters. Now, it's extremely unlikely that after those 12 weeks that will lead towards a legendary or an extra character that if you did some of the marquees here, you got the legendary. So, like I said, we're going to get 6 marquees of the first 12 weeks. It's possible 4 of those will be new Bad Batch characters, then we might get a ship, and we might get a random one. That sort of thing. And those 4, you'll be able to know exactly which 4 those are, and they're going to go towards a legendary. So you don't necessarily need to spend on the ship or the other one, because you're going to notice the one that fits, one that doesn't fit in, if that makes sense. So Fear of missing out is dead because you're able now to look at this. There's not going to be a surprise. You're going to know the timing, and there'll be lots of videos. Once we work out this timing into 2025, we're going to be able to work out the pattern, and you're going to be able to know exactly which characters you would need to spend on to get the character. And I think that kind of showed out with the Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano, where about 7 times the number of people got it on day 1 than got Leia, because it was a much longer, much more signposted sort of launch process. So consider that. So I would, to my Outer Rim Legend, I'd say spend if you want, but be extremely careful. But don't overspend. There's ways now where you can avoid spending. You can certainly ignore maybe the first one, because it's definitely going to be in shipments by the time the Legendary drops. Anyway, that's my update today on eras and episodes. Comments down below, like, subscribe. Thank you so much. Talk to you next time. All this out.